Hey guys, I'm back in our boost box update, so let's get started. So today's kind of correction day where a lot of the boxes are kind of correcting a little bit. Also, it's pretty common for there to be kind of slow days during a week. So we'll see if this kind of continues into tomorrow. But usually, all 7 days of the week, usually there's not like insane markets every single day. So that today's correction day, you see about 7 boxes go down. Sword and Shield has 4 boxes that went down about a lot of them around $5. Some of them like Fear and Stars went down 7, and like Vivid Voltage went down 2, Fusion and Lost Origin went down 5. And then for Scarlet Violet, the prices didn't really change that much. This should actually be a yellow. Um, but yeah, just kind of about like at most $2 price differences between a bunch of the prices. I still think that the most interesting box that's about to move is probably Paldea Evolved. Um, right now it remained about the same price. It went down $1, but demand is still pretty good. Like literally every other day, there's like an increase in demand. So you see like 23, and then 15, and then 9, and even already today there's 7. Compared to other days, it's more like 3, 5, and 2. So just not as much demand. And when I look at the prices, like you see like similar, you see like still good listings. Like every seller on this page, this is the first page, has only 1 box available, except for Drew's Gaming Galaxy. There's only 6. So it kind of tells me that there's like usually when that happens, like it's a sign of like there's not like a ton of it that people want to offload or can offload. So there's some amount of like connection to real supply of like the amount of Paldea boost boxes on the market, and then there's available supply, which is like how much are people actually like listing and putting available, at least on these marketplaces. So um, yeah, with everyone only playing one, it's pretty easy to just go through the listings because you buy one that goes away, buy another one that goes away, and then if you buy these 2 boxes, it goes to 355. You buy one more box, it goes to 360, and that's where we hit some more resistance. At the 6. I mentioned yesterday I wasn't sure how much more Paldea would evolve, but it still has a little bit of room to go up. And if everything else slows down, the thing about Paldea is that it seems like a lot of attention just will go into it basically. Like if people are saying are not liking the opportunities in other sets, they're like, well, I still want to put some money as a Pokemon. And so I think that's kind of happened with Paldea. It just seems like one of the main things people are going after. I'm gonna do a side tangent because based on the comments, so I hope this is like pretty interesting for you guys, but it's about Evolving Skies. So Evolving Skies has been 1900. I got a comment talking about how ETBs I think are the way to go. So I just did a little bit of analysis on ETBs for you guys, or Evolving Skies for you guys, just to give you a sense of like if you want to get Evolving Skies, because everyone knows it's like the best product for Sword and Shield, but like people aren't fully comfortable paying the $1,900 price for a booster box, or they can't really afford it either. So just some of the more affordable items are like what's actually more of an arbitrage opportunity. We know that a lot of the booster prices have gone up, but there's usually some opportunities with some of the other auxiliary items. Long term, though, booster boxes are generally usually have the biggest price per pack value over time. You see that over here. Evolving Skies is I don't know, like roughly 5 year question mark, 5 years old, I think, plus or minus some like 1 or 2 years. Um, and you see, like I just did a basic sort of like price analysis based on just like the TCG player. I looked at some of the listings, and here's like the price per pack. So booster boxes, they're around 1900 typically. So you get about $52 a pack. ETBs, which someone said is kind of the play right now. I saw some price on eBay for around like roughly 300, but right now it's listed for about 330 on TCG Player. So at 8 packs per ETB, it's about $40 a pack. So you save about $10. Um, Regular packs are about $27. Sleep packs are about same price as ETBs. Build and battle boxes are also about the same price as ETBs. They're all around $40, like 40, 41, 42, $43. So if you're looking for just like equivalent value, like ETBs or sleep pack to build a battle box, I think ETBs are the obvious one. Especially because I don't know if like some people like newer in the hobby, so they don't know this, but like not all ETBs are like the same. Always Guys has like the really nice thing where like they actually have really nice ETBs. Like they have the EVs on them, so they have 2 sets. They have 2 ETPs. So there's this one with Sylveon, Espeon, Vaporeon, and Glaceon. And then, let's see, I think I now opened another one. They have, well, I'll just kind of here. So, and they have this one with Leafeon, Umbreon, Flareon, and Jolteon. So it's just very different from the other ETBs. A lot of the other ETBs have like one Pokemon. The design's a lot more plain. these just look great as a set. So, especially like if you want to like store them or have them, like they definitely are like just great things to look at. So, I do agree that like these things are will be like collectible in the future for that sense. Like they are just very beautiful looking ETBs. So buying at those prices is like pretty good. I do see also recently, like a lot of the prices for volume guys have gone up. So just to give you a sense of what people are actually buying, on TCG Player you see like they're around like 270 before, and now like around like May, so about a month ago. So that's probably around the bull run happened. They've gone quite a bit, like 300, but they usually don't appreciate as much as the booster box does. And then this one too, you see like yeah around that May time, there's a bunch of ball over here, so it went from like 260 to 300. Uh, cases, for those of you who are new to hobby who don't know this, as you get as a set gets older, especially if it's a really good set, then you definitely will see a difference. Cases are actually worth more. So if you buy a case for a new set, if you buy a case, you usually get a bulk discount. But when you buy a case, from like years later, it actually costs more to buy a case because they're just more rare. They're more collectible. So if you do the math on this, there's like 10 ETBs divided by 4,000. That's about $400 a ETB. So it's actually more expensive to buy a case. So if you want like like cheaper stuff, like a case versus a booster box, I would probably go after the booster box at that point because this is probably gets to the point where it's close to the booster box price per pack. Sometimes you can buy sets over here. Some people have those. Um, and yeah, if you buy Evolving Skies case, like I see $15,000 here, divided by six, like even if I gave like $2,000 per booster box, this should be $12,000. But that's like a $3,000 extra thing. That's why like cases are very costly. Like Evolving Skies cases are probably very rare nowadays. Um, Evolving Skies packs, they haven't really they go up to about like 27, and they've kind of like steadied around there. So Evolving Skies packs are around 27. Um, and yeah, these are the build and battle boxes. These are not really popular things, so I wouldn't really recommend like buying these. Um, they're also not as liquid. Like the ETP just seem like a much better buy. And build and battle stadiums, like these are also things that people are not as good interested. Like build and battle are things that people really don't like. That's also why they continued build and battle stadiums. They're so bad that people Pokemon had to discontinue them. And then sleep packs also had a pretty big rise, like 30 to like 40. These had a big rise, and like you could argue some cases like maybe people want the pack arts and stuff, so you could diversify a little bit. But I still think that it's true that the ETPs are, if you're going for the cheaper stuff, like sleep packs, build and battle box, ETPs, if they're all around the same price, then buy ETPs. That kind of makes the most sense. Unless you have space concerns. If you have space concerns, then that's another thing. Um, and then if you want to go for cheaper, maybe loose packs, and then build and battle stadiums. It's like maybe. Ultimately, it depends what kind of deals you get because definitely if you get it from a local person or whatever, they'll probably give you a bigger discount. This is just based on like market price on T-shirt player, but proportionally they should be kind of similar. But yeah, I kind of agree with like Evolving Skies, ETBs, like compared to some other things. Like usually, like most people would recommend booster box ETBs anyway. But Voice Guys does have that special thing where it does have the EVs on it. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too big of a diversion. Let's go back to I'll put a timestamp where this kind of diverges possibly. All right, so next, I think the other booster box that is possibly going to go up just ever so slightly. Like Twilight Masquerade still has a little bit of energy left in it, so it didn't really change in price. I think it go toward 300, so not as big of a price as Paldea, but it did sell three yesterday, and let's see the price. I think 300's at the like this is 305 down here, and this is 300 over here. This is 295, so similar to Paldea, every seller here is only selling one, except for this one seller here that's selling six. And then I guess that there's this one seller selling two, but there's not a lot of Twilight being sold. So also they did like limit print runs a little bit like once Temporal was out. Um, but yeah, it is a little harder. There's a bunch of boxes hovering around 295, so that'll take a little longer to get bought out until it gets to 300. So I think Paldea is a better bet if you want like to see price rises like immediately, but like Paldea has a little bit of like room in it. All right, and then I have some notes. Chilling rain drops. There was a massive offload of paradox boxes, so not necessarily a huge deal or anything, but like this is a huge like contrast in what you just saw. So look at Paradox Rifts compared to what you saw Paradox in Paldea and Twilight. If you look at all the sellers here, like most of them are selling at least two. And then there's some bigger sellers that you see six over here. See a really big 152. This seller just randomly appeared all of a sudden. And you see one with five. So you just see like more quantity per person. So you just see like there's more kind of available, um, or more that people want to offload. So, but yeah, if this stays on the market, this will kind of hurt Paradox prices for a while, unless people kind of buy it all. But yeah, this is quite a lot. This is cases. That's like a little less than 9 cases, so about 8 to 9 cases. So that'll hurt Paradox prices for at least a little bit. Um, Surging Sparks is still, I don't know. There's just been a lot of cheap Surging Sparks lately. Looking at the listings, like there's just a lot of supply over here at these lower amounts from about 215 to 220. There's like 30, 20, 29, like 36 booster boxes at that price, and then it goes to like 25 and 30. So this is like the normal pricing, 225, 230, 240. Well, yeah, 230, and then this is where like there's just a lot of discount from these bigger stores. They do have a lot of sales, so I think a lot of big box stores. I don't know if they're trying to like offload the price or need to pay bills or whatever. But yeah, they're the ones who are trying to offload a bunch of surging sparks. Possibly not having confidence in it. A lot of these other ones like they don't have as many sales or whatever. So just a pretty interesting phenomenon with surging sparks. I didn't really quite expect that. Because they kind of let the price recover. Like, see, it went up back to 245, and now they're like making it drop again. Like, it's pretty much at the same price as it was when it was at the drop before. So Surging Sparks, another opportunity to get cheap boxes. Because I don't think that they have like infinite amounts, but we'll see. They're pretty big stores. Stellar Crown is kind of it keeps hovering in the same place, so like it always has potential to go up. So like 219 is over here. There's only about 6 boxes until 219, but yeah, people keep putting it around like 215. So there's about six on the market over there. Temporal Forces, it's had this weird thing where like it's one of the booster boxes that's had no demand the last couple of days. Price is still pretty stable around 219, but like no one's really. I think people don't really want to buy it for like 219 or more. So people are kind of hesitant because it really isn't like the best set. And if you're gonna put your dollars somewhere at $219, like it might be better like put somewhere else. Like you could buy Surging Sparks for cheaper than that. You could buy some people like Stellar Crown a lot. Paradox Rift also might be a little safer. SV base, but yeah, there's just comparable options right now, especially Surging Sparks. I'd be eyeing that versus Temporal Forces right now, especially with this decrease recently. I already talked about Paradox. Obsidian is still it sees like it shows signs of like going past 245 sometimes, but then it kind of retracts a little bit. So there's still a good amount, like 10 boxes here around 245, and then it would go up to like 247. So we're just kind of waiting for that to happen. It only sold one yesterday, uh, and then SV base it sold two, and SV base is at 202. It keeps like sometimes it drops below 200 and it comes back. There's this one seller who's selling for a little less at 202. Otherwise, it goes like it's been kind of like stuck around 205, 207. That's like kind of normal price for, especially with TC Sunrise here. I said that this would impact the market a little bit at 207. There's not always the biggest amount of demand for SV base, so this 11 box here kind of puts like kind of a ceiling on the price for now. And I think that's all Scarlet Vibe basically for Sword and Shield. I know that Chilling Rain, the price has kind of stabilized. Like ever since there's a sell over here, Die Prodigy cards put their box up for 395. There's been like more sellers enter the market around that price point. So I don't know if everyone's gonna buy these, but over here, like I do see like this is also 395. This is about 395. This is about 395. So like a bunch of sellers suddenly appeared with 395 boxes, and there's 5 of them at that price. So Shining Rain possibly on a sale right now. There was one sold yesterday, one sold today. The prices were actually there was like 2 sold yesterday. So 385 over here. Someone bought one photos for 10 for 12, and there's a 395 box. So yeah, Shining Rain below $400. Possibly a good buy. Um, What else? There's a little more Lost Origin demand, even though Lost Origin they go down $5. I don't know if it will change the price much, but yeah, you do see the recent, like you see 211 and then three sold yesterday. There's still a bunch of boxes around 505 though. Um, yeah, this is these three are around 505, and that's about five boxes, and then it goes to about 515 after that. Okay, and then Fusion Strike sold two, also dropped by $5. Also covered Brain Stars, which dropped by $7. But Fusion Strike is over here. Um, yeah, there's been more activity with Fusion Strike lately. So you're seeing like days with like two or three sales, kind of like every other day. And there's still quite a few boxes. We're still not really sure where it will end up being. So a lot of these are not booster boxes. I think I'm only here because there's this one cheap one over here at 710 with an imperfect seal. Then there's a picture of that, so there's some damage to that. Otherwise, the next one is like there's a bunch of picture listing. So this is like 730, 740, 750, 755, 753. So like a lot of prices are hovering around like 750, and so we're just waiting to see where it kind of settles for Fusion Strike. For Brilliant Stars, I'm still waiting for like tomorrow or the next day. Usually when the graph has been broken for so long, and usually once there's no data, then they'll finally correct it. But it's gonna take a long time. But Brilliant Stars has like the cheaper box here at 395. Otherwise, it's really back to about 400. So there's a cheaper box. None of them were sold. Astral Radiance sold one yesterday. The price didn't really change at all. So Astral Radiance is over here. Bunch of them at 380 over here. $3 at about 380, and it goes to 400. And is there anything interesting in the first boxes? I think I mentioned this yesterday, but yeah, Sword and Shield Base and Royal Flash had sales yesterday, which is pretty good for them. Darkest Place had no sale. Vivid Voltage sold two, and it went down by $2. Battle Style sold two, and yeah, the main one I'm looking out for is Vivid Voltage right now. It just seems like it's like it's been hovering around like close to 230. If there's less momentum, maybe it won't reach there, but it's at least 225 now. It's kind of maintaining that too. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.